Check 1 2 1 2, and we're in the place. Hmm. Let everybody get in here. Let's see here. We go to my own stream so that I can monitor it on the side here. Mm-mm. Oh, there it is, and there we are. Hey, hey. Oh, let me turn it down. Why was it still up? What's going on, everybody? Wait till fitness mom show up so I can explain this. The reason why femininity uh, lacks in being apologetic versus masculine, it does have the ability to be apologetic because it has to be built in. And this is just off the top of the hip. I didn't plan to talk about it, but we can since it was a topic that was brought up. But good evening to everyone, or afternoon rather. Afternoon to everyone. I hope that you all can hear me clearly. I've been trying different setups for my my audio feedback and stuff. So hopefully y'all can hear me clearly. Let's see who's got it. Miss Dimples, what's going on? Brenda, LaShawn, what's going on? Ronan was good. Fitness, hello, hello. What's up, Bronze Dip? Red Pill Rip, what's good? So anyway, let me get right into it. I don't like to have a long get into, but let me get right into it. So the reason why uh, femininity has, well, let me start here. So how things are set up in regards to what this world is and how we see it and how we understand it is built off of structure. Everything is built off of structure. Even things that seem like they don't have a structure, like a mountain or something like that. If you break it down to its fundamental basis, it still has a structure to it because of the elements that it's made out of. Uh, all the elements they have a specific structure to them. That's how we can account for exactly what they are. According to their electrons and protons and neutrons, etc. Whether it's an isotope or not, etc. Um, but uh, don't mean to take it a long route, but how it works is in regards to what this world is. It has to have order. Um, we often say that nature is unapologetic. The reason why is because it is black pill. Nature is simply itself as black pill. It does not consider morality. But in the construct of the red pill reality, there is uh, there is red pill, and there's blue pill knowledge as well. But the way red pill works is that you have to have some accountability, because that is the basis. That is the fundamental building block of reality. It is the truth. That's the fundamental building block of it. So it's no different than the fundamental building blocks of nature. How you have atoms. The truth are the atoms of the red pill reality. It's what constructs it to be what it is. That's why anything that is not true is not generally considered red pill, or anything that comes from a fantastical point of view is not considered red pill as well. But the reason why there has to be accountability and apologetic. That's simply what being apologetic is accountability for one's own faults. The reason why men have to be, well, we have it built in, is because it's necessary in order for us to construct things. Because let's say that men men didn't have any accountability for their faults. Like what was said. Let's say that that was true. That means that that means that everything that we call progress right now would simply have to be a, a, a coincidence. Like we didn't go through any trial and error. We just figured out, oh, this works, you know. But the trial and error portion of how society was built on men admitting that stuff didn't work. You have to admit that certain things will not work in order for you to progress into a situation of what works. This is how we came up with what's known as the scientific method as well. And through that, you have to understand that this being apologetic is part of what has constructed the world that we know as the physical world of society. I mean, because there were many things that were tried and failed. And if you were not honest about it and you actually put that into a structure, it was going to fail that structure, which has happened before. We've seen that plenty of times where dams have broken or something because they didn't use the right material, or buildings have collapsed, or catastrophic things have happened with no accountability. Because if someone sells a bad product, that means that it is essentially going to fail. And that's where men have the innate ability to have the construct within them of accountability, which is simply again is being apologetic. It's admitting fault uh, to one's inability, or uh, to one's own fault that they have caused. Without men, with men, if men were not able to have that, we wouldn't understand civilization as to what it is right now. But the reason why I think that women innately do not have this, because it's not built in feminine nature. Masculine nature is order. It creates order. It has to have accountability in order to create order. Feminine nature, it does not have to have order, or excuse me, it doesn't have to have accountability in order to be feminine nature. It's not. It doesn't come with the package. That's the reason why men have to instill structure into children, because they are brought from a place of feminine nurturing, which can sometimes have structure to it, but it's not the structure that is meant for the civilization. We don't nurture buildings. We maintain buildings, yes, but we didn't nurture a building into a 52-story building. Like, that's not how it happened. We constructed it into a 52-story building. We didn't nurture companies into what they are. We constructed those companies into what they are. So simply everything that has been constructed by men has had to be constructed by some level of self accountability, and that is innately built in. Whereas with women, it is not. That's the reason why they don't have the ability to build anything, because they are not innately imbued with a self accountability and being apologetic. Now, that's not to say that women are not apologetic, but they are taught to be apologetic according to the structure that men have built. So that's essentially how it works. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's get on to the topic. Um, like I said, I have my thoughts consolidated today on this topic that I want to bring to you guys. I was gonna show another video, but I'll probably do that on another stream, because I think I want to talk to you guys rather than give you an exhibit to go over and to look at. Uh, what's good, at Stage 3? What's good? Hey, it's my homeboy right there from BOA channel. Um, but anyways, I'll get on with it. This is simply my understanding and how I see things. This is my opinion. This is not to say that I can't be wrong on some of these things, but this is the environment and the way that I see it. Um, this is the environment and the way that I understand it. But let's get into it. Um, uh, this is going to be about the pandemic, and the things that have been going on. I'm not really big on talking about hot topics and stuff like that, because I'm not trying to get any notoriety. I don't want my streams to come up or my videos to come up because they have popular words in them. I want them to come up because people are searching for this information, rather than looking for anything to deal with whatever the hot topic word is of the day. Uh, so I've been looking at the way that black women have been associating themselves with this pandemic and how it has affected the things they do. Black men as well. I've been looking at the entire what we call black community. I'll just use the word black spaces. Places where we frequent online, places where we frequent in real life, things that we normally do versus things that we now don't do at all. I'm paying attention to all that, but one thing that I'm noticing is that there's a hard shift for black women, and it's due to, this is an indicator to me that they are still suckling to the teat of white supremacy, in my opinion. But they don't see it as that. But I'm going to point out reasons why, of course, because this pandemic, like I said in my title, it should expose some truths for the black community, or the black spaces as we know it. Um, you know, but for instance, black women, they're currently forced not to go to Asian salons and shops, due to the current climate, of there being a pandemic present. You know, uh, which most of them, if the shops were open, they still would risk their lives. This pandemic disproportionately affects black people the most, according to the studies that have come out, or according to the polls that have come out. But it's not just health wise; it's also monetarily wise. You know, everything that has been placed in black spaces and allowed there from the outside is meant to extract wealth from the community itself. I mean, we should all know that. Um, they are meant to degrade black people's ability to thrive in their environment by creating artificial, by creating an artificial or artificial environment where black people hold themselves to a superficial standard and pour more coal, pretty much, which doesn't help them in any tangible way. We see this all the time. It doesn't help. The getting your hair done isn't going to help you become a better person. You know, the wearing of the latest fashion isn't going to help you in learning anything. It's not going to help you in your ability to thrive in your own environment. None of this stuff. Um, but a lot of this stuff, as we understand it, is carried over from plantation politics. Shout out to Grinch on that one. It's simply carried right over from plantation politics. It strips men's ability to build, and it, gives women the lust of many things. It instills regressive behavior, which we ultimately call quote unquote culture. Uh, I include many structures in this cesspool of aggression collectively. Um, what is found in black communities everywhere you go in the United States, uh, if you really think about it, it's a lot of foreign shops, liquor stores, fast food, and churches. That's on every corner in the hood, every corner. Um, but yes, I do include churches in this, and the reason why uh, is because they add a certain dynamic to the culture that we understand. But people would say, why why would you include churches? Because in white communities, they have, churches in their communities. And I say I agree. It's true. It's very true. Because that's that's what they practice a lot of times. I mean, this is a Christian uh, founded United States. It's based off the principle of Christianity. But what I would ask you to pay attention to, because like I said, this is a facing of the reality, is to pay attention to the proximity. If you notice, and in the hood, you can find a church on like every corner, but you can find also the liquor stores, the hair stores, on every corner. But as far as when it comes to white communities, the churches that they have are located very far away from where the a lot of the church members actually go to church at. They can't walk down the street and go to church most times. Most of their community, as far as their churches go, exist um, very far away from where they actually live. But in the hood, they're right there. They're right there, and a lot of people would question why that is. But I'll go more into it. Um, let's see. But the purpose of the purpose they serve, once again, is that they are meant to extract money out of the community. That's why they're there in the first place. That's why they were allowed there in the first place. You got to think, why was the liquor store allowed there? Why was the 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 hair salon allowed there? Why were all these places allowed there? You got to remember, we didn't set up any, none of this stuff we own. Sure, there are black owned churches, but and it's not, this is not to include every single church out there. I'm not saying that every church engages in poor behavior, but once again, you have to question, why is there a church on every corner, but we are still in the same condition for some reason? Because these churches, to my knowledge, are meant to improve the quality of life of the people who attend by giving them structure, by giving them principality, by giving them morality. But yet we still see a degradation in our communities, even right down the street from the church itself. Why is that? It's no. Tell me I'm wrong that right down the liquor store is different from right down the street from the liquor store is different from right down the street from the church. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Every single, most, especially where I come from. I come from Detroit. As everybody should know. Every right down the street, somebody got shot. Right down the street from a church. Right down the street from a liquor store, somebody got shot. Right down the street from a hair salon, somebody got shot. I mean, of course, we can say that it's due to the amount of churches and liquor stores and um, all these places. Sure, we have a lot of them, but why are they there in the first place? Once again, you go to white communities, you don't see that stuff. It's because the people won't allow that stuff to be in their vicinity where they live. Why is that? But we welcome it by patronizing these places. Um, but anyway, uh, they're meant to degrade the community. That's simply put. There are pastors online right now asking for your tithes, even though you may have recently lost your job or your hours are cut. You know, these are things that we have to look at. These are things that we have to consider. But when this thing has been going on, this pandemic has been going on, where are the churches? Where is all the money that you invested into these churches to help your community out? And once again, this is not me bashing anybody's religion or anybody's belief, but you have to look at the reality of things. Tell me I'm lying. Once again, tell me I'm lying. I'm sure there are churches out there that are helping communities, and these are not the ones that I'm talking about. There are churches that are doing the correct thing, but by and large, there are a lot of churches that are not. There are a lot of churches that are not supporting the people that support the church, and that's unfortunate. But once again, how are these churches any different from these liquor stores and these hair salons and these shops? If you really look at it, they're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. Why? They take from the people and they give back rarely anything. But I don't know if anybody else is paying attention to that, but I'm definitely paying attention to that. Once again, this is just my perspective on what I see. Once again, I'm not all over the country. I'm not at every place at one time, but I'm sure people can relate to exactly what I'm saying. You know, um, these places and structures are allowed to be in black spaces because they take a lot. Once again, they give back little. That's one thing you have to pay attention to. Who is supporting you in this time of need? Who have you been patronizing with your money? Who have you been faithful to? Are they there for you right now? Did they call you up and did they even call you up and ask you how you are? They'll call you up and ask you when you come into service. They'll even come pick you up for service. But are they picking you up to get you some food from the places that you need to go? Are they picking you up to maybe get you to a doctor's appointment? Are they doing these things? The reason why they'll pick you up to go to service is because they know you bring money. But once again, this is just my opinion. I'm not calling anybody out, not pointing any fingers. I'm just asking people to pay attention to what's going on. But you have to look at a lot of these places. Um, to me, it's sort of like going to a bubblegum machine and putting in $1 and getting back fake rings that aren't worth much. That with money that you spent on them, that have no appreciating value to them. You're getting for the money and time and the effort that you're spending patronizing these places for years and years and years. You're getting little to nothing back. Sure, they may give you some kind words. They may talk with you on the phone. They even may hold service online. Sure, the liquor store is still open, but it's only open for certain hours. But they're still open just to get you what you need. Sure, there are actually hair salons, and I've seen it. Correct me if I'm wrong again. I've seen it that will backdoor a lot of their product, meaning that they won't officially front door open, but they'll put out the word that they're still selling stuff. But where are these same people when you need something? You're patronizing their business, keeping them afloat. Who's keeping you afloat? Who? And once again, this is not a jab at any one particular sex, because I see black men affected by this and I see black women affected by this. But nonetheless, I have to look at it from my perspective. And the reason why, partial the reason why I brought this up is because I remember that time that guy he bashed in the window of that place because the women wouldn't leave because they were being mistreated, and he couldn't get them out of there. He could not get them out of there. He even went to jail, and there were some women that left, but the vast majority of women that were there during that situation, they didn't leave. And then there was a line that was packed, that was still in there the next day. The place was boarded up, and the place was packed again. Are you kidding me? It was packed again. But now that this pandemic has happened, it's closed. So you mean to tell me that you're going to patronize this place over and over again, these nail salons over and over again, even though black men are saying that you are being mistreated, that you've been brutalized, that you don't deserve this type of treatment for the amount of money that you bring in there. And then these places close because of the pandemic. That's the only thing that's going to keep you out of there? That's what it took to get you out of there. It took a whole pandemic to get you out of there. You can't you say you want structure from black men, but we give you structure and you don't follow it. It seems that only nature can get you right. And that's unfortunate because we don't live in a black pill world like I stated before. We live in a society that is ran by men. I don't think you're going to see what happens when things revert back to a black pill state in regards to human existence. People need to really look into that. People were brutalized. People were killed horribly. I mean, look at how the Aztecs lived. I mean, they believed that chopping people's heads off and killing virgins was the thing to do. That was their structure. And who were you as a woman going to say to those men who lived in a very black pill state of mind? What were you going to say to them? Nothing, because you get your head chopped off too. Do you really want it to go back to that? Or do you want to work with us where we are now? You have to ask yourself this. Once again, this is not it's not a jab at black women, because I don't necessarily believe in it. If she wants to listen, she listens. If she doesn't, she doesn't. That's totally fine. But the thing is, if we are coming to a point of what the reality is, these are things that you as a black woman and you as a black man have to pay attention to because this is the truth. Like I said, tell me where I'm lying at any of this. You support these places for years. Soon as they shut down, where are they? Where did they take your money? Did they put it back into your community? I mean, they're there in your community, but did they set up a relief fund? Are they passing out food at their shop or something? You know, are they handing out flyers for support groups of people who can get together and help the community thrive because they're a part of it? But are they? Because in order to be a part of something functionally, that means that there has to be a level of reciprocity to it. Meaning that you give them something, they give you something back. But this isn't the same as what you think. You give them money and they give you hair back. No, no, no. It's a little bit bigger than that because, like I said, it's like going to a gumball machine, putting in the dollar and getting back fake rings. Sure, we did that as children, but are you going to do that as an adult? Because that's simply what you're doing. You're paying money for hair and fake nails and etc. and all this other crazy stuff through the Asian communities, and they're giving you back fake rings. Nothing that you can do anything with. That's the truth of it. I mean, and it sounds it's going to sound really like a jab because it's coming from a man, but women have been telling you the same thing. This is a time, I think this time is important for us because it gives us the opportunity, because time has almost pretty much halted. Sure, time hasn't stopped on your bills, but time has stopped in regards to your reality. All the things that you were buying into, all the things that you were supporting, all the things that you were using to, like I said, superficially look good, they're taken away. They're gone. There's no clubs. There's no men to impress. There's no women to impress. You can't party like that. All the things that were distracting you from what the reality was is gone. It's been halted in time. But I think this happened for a reason. It's so that you can have the opportunity to look around you and see what the truth of these things are. So that you can understand what your reality really consists of. Because if if now you find yourself in a hole where you don't know what to do with your life and you don't know where to go, you don't know what you should be doing, this is the time that you need to figure it out, because this will carry over into, I'm hoping that it carries over into the reality, so that when you think about getting your hair done again, you can think about, oh yeah, these Asian motherfuckers didn't set up any funds for me when I was out there supporting. This nail salon, they didn't put any money in my pocket. They didn't even hand out food to people who I know are hungry, who were walking right past their shop looking for something. I hope this opens your eyes up a little bit. But even still right now, you know, black women are dying to get back in these shops and salons. They're dying. Thank God that the shops are closed during this time of the stimulus period. Otherwise that $1,200+ would have went to hair, nails, alcohol, and ties for a church that wouldn't lift a finger because they lift a finger for you. I mean, they wouldn't lift a finger for you, even though you lift a finger for them. That's where all that money would go. Sure, some of it might go to bills. Maybe. I don't know. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here. But let's be honest. We live we live in a black space of plantation politics. So why wouldn't that $1,200 go to your oppressor? Why? Like I said, I give you the benefit of the doubt. But you've been feeding your oppressor all this time, so why would you stop? I'm hoping that this time of, like I said, reality stopping, well, this time of the economy stopping, lets you really see what's going on around you. And the funny thing is, you know, these same people that are running these shops, they come from China. If you paid any attention to the news over in China, what are they doing to the black people there? They're putting them right out on the streets. No problem. They didn't even think twice about it. Soon as they can point the finger at somebody else that wasn't Chinese, they did. But yet you'll come back, you'll be back here in the United States, and as soon as they have a word that these shops are going to be open, you're lined up. But in other countries, they treating people who look just like you like they're nothing. So essentially, you're getting it on both sides. You're getting it in their country and in your country. When is enough? When are you going to say, you know what? My money is my vote. What I do with my money tells them who's in charge. You're doing something with your money when you're patronizing them. You're telling them that they're in charge, that they can give you fake rings for $1. And that's unfortunate because this is the reason why we stay in poverty. I mean, let's think about it. These things have been around for, let's say, I don't know, 40 years plus, something like that. And none of these things have lifted you out of poverty. None of the weave, none of the rims, none of the sound systems, none of the weed, none of the liquor, none of this has gotten you out of this problem. Yet you complain about your conditions. Look around you. What's contributing to the conditions that you live in, that you're so upset about, that you say that are unfair? Is it them or is it your mindset? Is it what they sell you or is it what you choose to buy? Which is it? That's what I want to talk about. Um, this is not, like I said, this is not a shot at anybody. This is just something that needs to be said. I mean, yeah, we're talking about the pandemic left and right. You know how women are going to come back to the dating field thinking with a different mind. How men are going to be at risk and stuff like that, which I will talk about in the future. That actually is going to be one of my streams as well. Um, but nobody's talking about what reality were you stripped from so that you can come back to yourself. This time is given to you for a reason. None of this, I don't believe there's a such thing as an accident. I don't believe there's a such thing as just something happening to you. Everything is for a reason. And you have to look into that reason to figure out what can you get from this? What can you learn from this? What can this situation teach you? Because there's always a lesson there to be learned. Stuff doesn't just happen to you. And this range of people, and especially that being that black people are the most affected by this isn't a coincidence. This isn't a mistake to me. This is a message. This is a wake up call. This is the power that be telling you that there's something wrong and you need to stop and evaluate it. You know why that happened? It's because you wouldn't stop and evaluate it on your own. So there had to be something put in place for you to stop and evaluate it. Here's your opportunity. Don't go back doing the same old things. Don't go back living the same old life. Don't go back patronizing the same old places that didn't support you in your time of need. Don't do it because it's just going to only aid to you failing as you have been for the past, I don't know how many years. I can't remember when child support wasn't a thing. Even through my great grandfather, I heard about this. Liquor stores, I heard about. Churches, I heard about. All these things I heard about. I have a saying that I like to say that the truth is consistent. And what I mean by that is, it's not necessarily that if you hurt someone, that's the truth, that you should hurt someone. No, no, no. The truth is that you hurt someone. So it's a rather a objective thing rather than a subjective thing. And the truth is consistent, meaning that in this context, meaning that the truth of why you are failing is because of the reality in the truth. The things that are around you that are stopping you from reaching your pinnacle. That's the truth of your failure because it's consistently there. Remember, the truth is consistent. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. Any inconsistencies that you can find is not the truth. That's why I don't believe in this 5% rule of, oh, it could happen. No, no. What's predominantly there? Because that is telling, that is a correlation to me. It's not a direct causation because, like I said, I believe the mindset is a causation. But the correlation is that the mindset is feeding into the correlation, meaning that your mindset is going into the things that are around you that are aiding in your degradation as a community, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people say community, but nonetheless, it's a collective of black people. And As much as we would like to say that's them over there and that's us over here, like I said, this thing is disproportionately affecting black people, not them over there and us over here, black people. I mean, and it's unfortunate that we still have to make the divide, but I understand it. I definitely understand it because there are theirs who will do and there's who won't do. I understand that. And there are some people that need to be cut from the body in order for the body to live. I understand that. But as it stands right now, this is a point where everyone can stop and look and figure out what their life is meant to be doing. Well, what they're meant to be doing in their life, rather. This is what this time is given to you for. Look at all the things around you. The higher power is saying, stop and watch. Look who has your back, look who doesn't have your back. Where is your brother? Where is your sister? Who is against you, who is for you? Who supports you and who wants to take from you? These are the things that you should be considering currently. Amongst other things, definitely get some learning about you. You know, find something new to do. Learn something. Read a book. Do something. Don't sit on the internet all day because that aids in your degradation as well. Because remember, the truth is consistent. If it's something is consistently there and your life is consistently poor, you need to get those consistencies out of there for the most part that you can directly point at to say that that doesn't aid in my benefit. They're there. This is what this time is given to you for, so that you can stop and look around. But anyway, let me read this chat. I know I've been talking for a long time. I just want to get that thought out, y'all. I had to, you know, get it in there. You know, if I read the chat, then I'll get sidetracked. I'm a Virgo. I like to do one thing, get it done, and move to the next. Let's go to the top. Let's see. Um, let me enlarge this so I can actually see the screen. Red Pill Rip Walt Diddy says, "Peace, Wolf. Just woke, just woke. Almost gym time. I need that real pill." Well, this is the red pill for you, definitely. Book of Rhymes in the building. It's Peace, Wolf. Sean. I think we need Where's Master Dictionary meaning because many use wiki. Exactly. We need to get away from what society gives to us and pay attention to the reality of what things are. Saying what like it to be isn't the same as truly making it happen because someone has to do it. You women mostly don't want to. Just tell us to do it. Nope, they need to take some accountability because they're the one who are patronizing this place. Black men ain't going to these salons. We're not waiting for these salons to open. Sure, there's a few of us that need a haircut, but we're not dying. We redirecting our energy. I hope that we're redirecting our energy. I mean, there's some of us that are not. There's some of the dudes that still chasing ass right now, which is not what you're supposed to be focused on. Your main focus should be improving yourself. Once again, this is what this time is given to you for. This is why society is slowed, so you can pay attention to something. My opinion, though. Let's see. Let's go down. Let's see. Silverman says, "You'll see these folks look real dusty when we go through an economic ass whooping from the lockdown." Yep. But once again, where are your people? Who have you been supporting all this time? Where are their funds to help you? Where's their investment to help you? You've been investing in them all these years. How are they helping you? And even like I said, in other countries, look at how they're treating people who look just like you. They may not be exactly like you, but they look just like you. So there's no different if you took your ass over to China or you was in China at that point in time, you would be lined up with the rest of them Africans right on the ground outside. They don't care. What's going on, Amanda? It's good. SJ3 in hall. Let's see. LaShawn says, "When you let someone judge your failures on judge you on your failures, too many take on failure wasn't person that did them. Fail due to accepting others' failures. Let's see. Riddick J16 says BW never have money for a gym membership, but have just enough for weave and nails. Exactly. Once again, this time is meant for you to redirect. Redirect. Now that you can't go outside and get all glammed up, and there's no club for you to go to, you need to focus on you. You need to focus on getting your body right. You need to focus on your diet because a lot of the fast food places aren't open like they used to be. They ain't open. Like I said, all this stuff, and it's too many coincidences for me to ignore that all this stuff it happened in the way it did. It shut down in the way it did, so much so that it gave you so much free time. You're not trying to make the lunch rush anymore. You're not trying to make sure that you get ready for the club. You're not trying to catch uh, the latest fight down the block or whatever. You're not trying to go hang out with your friends. Social distancing, business hours have been cut. A lot of people hours have been cut. If not, they have lost their jobs. This is to slow you down. In my opinion, there's no really other way to look at it. Like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. And for it to affect black people the most, somebody's talking to you. And it ain't me. I'm just pointing it out. Let's see. That's just you said, boys in the hood. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. Yep, in regards to the churches. That's stuff's crazy. Partial blame has to go to the consumer. The seller doesn't hold a gun uh, to the consumer. Exactly. Exactly. And that was my whole rhetoric about these Asian shops. George Fraser says, and to all the lionesses, lioness, welcome to the Pride Rock and the Pride Lands. Hyenas will be chased out or killed. Definitely. Uh, LAR says, legitimate question. Yeah. About where these people are to help you. Exactly. Let's say Silverman says, there are Eastern Orthodox churches helping their own, and those communities aren't hypocritical like the Baptist Church. Once again, you have to look at the proximity of stuff. A lot of those churches aren't located directly in their communities. And I'm not saying that the church is built to degrade communities. It's not That's not what the church is built for. But the church in different communities serves different purposes due to their proximity. If you put a church in the corner in the middle of the hood, to me that's no different than putting a liquor store in the corner of the hood, especially if you aren't doing anything for the people that's tangible. Like I said, giving them principle, giving them stuff to live by, not coddling their emotions and telling them pretty much that every sinner would go to heaven if they gave tithes. It's a difference for me. But shout out to all the churches out there who are doing the correct thing, definitely, because our people need it currently. And I do say our people because I can't look at someone and just say you're not my people and that's my person just based off the way they look. You look just like me. So I'd rather be inclusive than non-inclusive before and that's upon noticing a person. But if you show your behavior, then I say you're not my people, because my people don't act like this. So that's where I make the delineation, and it's all by an individual person, and how they display themselves, how they carry themselves, what they choose to do or not do. That's what I use the criteria to call you my peoples or not my peoples. How you live your life, you know, what morality or code do you live by? And it's not saying that you have to have the same code as me, but you have to have something, definitely. Let's see. Skip Michael says, preach your church and the food in the hood. Excuse me, preach your church in the hood. Home in the burbs. Kids go to private school. That's good. Let's see what else we got here. Just going through all the stuff like that. Let's see. Uh, Bronze Dip says there are pastors asking for people's stimulus checks to give to church. Shake my fucking hand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll have their hand out for you to give them something, but where's their hand out to give you something? Where is it? But you'll go right. I'm not saying you individually, but us as a people, you'll go right back and you'll go right back to church and you'll hand them your last dollar when you're still in the condition that you left from. Get it together, people. Get it together. Uh, Definitely get the likes up, definitely, because that lets me know if you like it or not. If you don't like it, just thumbs down, and I don't care. Give me some feedback. Uh, yeah, 100. Yeah, and you know, I might make another stream about this 10% of your money that was done away. That was done away. You're still supposed to tithe according to the Bible, but that 10% crap. It doesn't have to be 10% of your money. You can give 10% of whatever if you want to. You don't even have to give a percentage because, to my knowledge, to my reading, to my understanding, it was done away with. Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy 14. Uh, and then the reason why it was done away with was explained in Leviticus, I believe. I have to look up to it, but I can give a nice little sermon on that one. I'm no deacon, no preacher, believe me, I'm not that. But you know, I educate myself so that I can educate people. Let's see what else. Let's see. Chickadee says, no matter what the hell is going on in the world, pasta still gotta ride clean. And that may be how you carry yourself. But like I said, this is a time for you to pay attention. Red Pill Walt Daddy said, give yourself 100% will I'll stand with you in your opinion and your RRPC red real red pill content. Thank you, I appreciate it. Let's see. Sean says, last time I checked, never been one person seeing God they worship every Sunday. Yet one person got podium with a mic attached. Praise them more than God, and God said, show up for. Um, that, like I said, that I'll probably explain a lot of that on another stream. Uh, how things have became as far as my understanding and knowledge. I'm still a man and learning myself, and I'll always be, but I can give people, to my knowledge, what I understand. Brian Silverman is very twisted. They don't give a crap about the congregation, only what their parishioners can do for them. Yeah, I definitely, my people here, y'all definitely get it. You're wasting your breath with respect. Our people know this. See, but the reason why I decided to do this stream is because normally, people will be at work, people will be busy with their distractions. This is distractions that were put in the hood. Um, but this is a time where things will be shared socially a lot more, especially online. Um, and I don't really means in regards to money or anything like that. But to a degree, yeah, that's true too. But the reason why I decided to do this stream is because this came to me. This came to me out of nowhere. Um, because I'm not a person who actually thinks about a lot of stuff. Because a lot of stuff is straightforward to me. But it came to me that I should talk about this. And I should express what I understand to other people, because sometimes that's lost to me, what I should actually be telling other people, because these things I just understand because I normally live my life in such a way that it is what I need it to be. I don't really worry about too much. Even if there was an issue to come through, I still don't worry about too much. Because I have things that are backing me and that have my support. Because I have people that I invest in who invest in me. I have my circles. Um, but I understand this, but do other people understand this? Sometimes it just takes a few words from someone for you to say, huh, I didn't think about that, because it's happened to me. There's been plenty of things that I haven't thought of that somebody took the kindness out of their heart to give me some of their time to explain something to me. So I'm paying it back. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and um, you know, ask you to patronize me with your viewership and not give you anything in return. Just like these people are asking you to pay with your money and not give you anything in return. I'm not going to be a hypocrite in that way. You know, I'll give you reciprocity equal to what you give me. If you're willing to listen, I'm willing to talk to you. That's how it works. Uh, let's see. Silverman says, Brian's the hustler's master understanding modern people. Most people today are weak, fearful, and emotional. Easy to exploit. Yep. That's just like what Nas said on his. I like his song. What's the name of that song? I forgot the name of it. Oh, I know what it is. It's called. I can't think of it. It's one word too. Uh, everything. Everything uh, featuring Kanye West and I forgot the dude's name, but he said, they convinced my people to live off emotion. That's one of his actual lyrics, and that's true. Everybody sees it, but don't nobody want to talk about it because it makes them money. You know, or it aids in their soothing of their emotions and the way they like. I mean, it's a long list of pathologies on both sides. The seller and the consumer. That's what keeps that system intact. But when are you going to step out of that? When? And I can't sit here and say that there are things that I have not purchased, but I make sure that they are more of an asset to me in the long haul than just the short term. I have plenty of stuff that I purchased for a lot of money, but to me, money doesn't really equal uh, any comfort with myself. I looked at it just as the object things is no different than the things I buy. They don't equal me and they don't detract from me. But for people who are in need, this is what I'm saying, because I was once in that same situation, um, to where I was wondering who had my back, who have I been supporting. I mean, we talk about this all the time in the hood, that you know who your true friends are when you're doing bad. Well, y'all doing bad. Who's your friends? Who? Where are they? People around when you got it, right? The churches around when you got it. The liquor stores around when you got it. The Asian people, they might smile in your face and frown when you turn around, but they dead when you got it. Who got you though? Anyway, let's see. Brian says, I never set foot in a church house ever. Paying the church ain't getting a person to heaven. God ain't asking folks for their checkbooks before he judges them. But God is asking for your work. And your work could be in yourself. And it does have to be to the institution that he set up to encourage people to do the right thing. But that's another story. Like I said, I'll go over it on a different stream. Kendra said, who's to say if his breath is wasted? The message needs to be said regardless. Yep, that's the same thing I was saying. Uh, let's go down. Sorry if I'm not getting y'all. I see y'all messages coming in at the bottom, but I just want to get through and make sure I get everybody. Because y'all have valuable things to say, in my opinion. I'm not gonna turn anybody's opinion away. I mean, y'all here to get knowledge just as easy as I'm here to give it. Like I said, this is a reciprocity. If you came to listen, I came to tell you. Uh, Besides, I believe Christ said you can find God anywhere. The church is within you. The buildings are constructed by the Romans who twisted the faith and priests to steal from the masses. That's somewhat true, but there's still a doctrine about um, about what you should do as far as communing with your brother, and that does involve some level of structure. Doesn't necessarily involve a building structure, but it involves some. Like I said, I'll probably get into that later on. I have to do a little bit more studying so that way I'm concrete in my message. It won't be anything that I'll do anytime soon, and it'll be for a very niche uh, uh, people who are listening, because not everybody believes what I believe, of course, and I understand that. But there are still some morals to be learned. There are still some principles to be learned, because this is where I get a lot of my principle from what I believe, and it all, I believe the truth comes from one way. It's just the different lenses that give you different arrays of what the truth is, and it's up to you to follow that ray back into the white light of truth, in my opinion. But that's another story. I talk very philosophically. I don't mean it. I don't mean to sometimes, but that's just the way I see it. Let's see. Yep. Facts. So, man, they know by preying on people's faith, that if they don't give their last, they are disobeying God, won't be blessed. But the pastor lives in a mansion and he tells you to pray on it. Yep, those are the people that I'm talking about. They have no fund set up. Sj 3. Uh, Keeping up with the Joneses mindset has held our people back for generations. Definitely, that's the thing. You know, the truth of our failure is found within the consistency of our failure. That's the truth of it. If you ever want to figure out why your life is the way it is, it's because you've been doing the same thing. That's why. I mean, if you really look back and how you became what you are. I mean, successful people don't stop doing this. People who have a longevity of success don't stop doing the things that made them successful. That's how that works. And likewise, people who have a long list of failures don't stop doing the things that made them failures. That's how that works. I mean, it's a simple equation for me, but once again, I'm here to tell people things that they may have not heard before. SJ3. Yep, we read that one. Let's see. Sean Jefferson. Uh, it won't help a man. Bought you shoes, bags, jewelries, and things. I ain't going to support shit. Asking for support now. Exactly. I mean, a lot of these Asian shops, they hurting right now. That's why they backdooring. They trying to give you a little deal on the side. It's almost like they fencing or something. You know, back in the day when people used to steal stuff, you know, whether it be the crackheads or criminals or whatever, they'll sell you something that's worth $300 for 25 real quick. That's how the Asian shops is. You think you can get bundles for cheap? Oh man, they selling them like hotcakes out the back. But once again, don't feed into it. Don't feed into it. They're not supporting you. Don't support them. Support the people who support you. Simple as that. You know, I personally, I don't necessarily have a issue with women getting their hair and nails done and stuff like that. Whatever it is that make you feel pretty, but it aids in the dysfunction. If it did not aid in the dysfunction, I wouldn't necessarily have anything to say about it at all. At all. I mean, because sometimes it looks nice. It's whatever, a little extra weave in your hair, as long as it's a natural thing. That's my thing. I don't like the whole blonde thing. Y'all heard me go off on that chick before. But, I don't like the blonde hair, the blue hair, and all that green stuff. No, give me that black and beautiful, baby. Go ahead, give it to me. That's what I need. You feel me? I don't need that extra stuff. Let's see. Less selfies on Facebook now since the nail shop and hair salons aren't open. Definitely. I mean, but in all actuality, I have a saying. Another saying. I have a lot of sayings actually, but another saying that I like to say is that, being truthful with yourself and others will get you in a position that you're meant to be in, regardless if it's comfortable for you or not. Because the truth, for instance, I'll give you an example. Let's say that I lied my way into a job. I told them that I had all these credentials that I don't have. And then I have to do the job and I fail at it. Of course, I'm not meant for that job because I had to lie my way and get into it because I failed at it. That's normally what happens when people who overshoot their abilities and lie about their abilities. They fail at it. It's only a small percentage of con artists who can get past that door. But let's say you were truthful about your abilities. When you get into the job that you need to be in, then you're going to do exactly what you need to do. And you're not going to stress over it. It's going to be easy to you because this is what you do. That's what the truth will get you. It will get you an easy life. And I'm not saying that it's not going to be somewhat difficult because life is difficult. It is built to be difficult because that's how we evolve. The environment is meant to challenge you, and the ones who are not challenged, who can't meet the challenge, they get left back. Their DNA doesn't get pushed forward. This is the whole theory behind Darwin's evolution. The environment is meant to check you because the species that don't exist now, they didn't meet the standards of what the environment called for. So don't let that be you. Be truthful in what you are and who you are. Because when you meet the challenge of what you're supposed to meet, you can overcome it. Plus, it's a waste of time. Whatever. People waste their time all the time. But let's see. Brian says, "A damn shame. It's obvious to see one. It's one big Ponzi scheme." Yep. But some people don't see it that way. It's unfortunate. Too watchful on the streets. and pregnant women out of hospital. I don't remember what that was in reference to. Let's see. Already some community. Silverman says already some communities are turning on Chinese stores and markets. Black community needs to turn on the Chinese market. Definitely. I mean, but the sad part about it is we're turning. Black people are turning on the Chinese because of their suspicion of causing this. Their suspicion of probably being positive. They turn on anybody Asian at that matter because that's what the level of ignorance is. Everyone Asian isn't Chinese, but some people ain't been outside their own city, so they barely know that there's a population of Mexicans right next door to the adjacent city to them. They have no idea. But the point that I'm making is that they're disowning them and distancing themselves from them for the wrong reason. They should be distancing themselves because these are not people who support you, not because these are people who can possibly infect you. There's a difference in that, in my opinion. So we need to retool that definitely, because that's what I've seen a lot of. Superman, they're abusing Africans in Africa, but hell, let's all buy a Huawei. Oh, well, true, they are. But my point is that we should be paying attention, and it wasn't necessarily to point out a certain demographic of the black diaspora, if you want to call it that. It was to point out that if you, as an American, if you were as an if you as an American were in China, you would have been lined up on the streets just like those Africans were. They wouldn't have said, "Oh no, you're American, they're African, you're good, we don't like them." No, you would have been laying there trying to learn the African language so that you can get together and figure something out. That's what would have happened. Let's be real here, because it's now us against them at the point where us, as in you and them, are laying on the street and they're in their cozy houses. Even if they wouldn't even let them buy rooms. They won't let them shop at grocery stores. They won't let them go to places where you can actually get cooked food. They won't. They have disassociated themselves. You would have been collectively caught up in there too. So it isn't a us versus them, the Africans versus Americans, Caribbean or whatever. It's you look like somebody who we can point the finger at. And why should we support people who would point the finger at us another country in our own country? Why? Why should we do that? I'm not saying that every Chinese person here aligns themselves with China, but the thing is, they are doing the same thing to you in China that they're doing to you here. It just looks different. They're doing the same exact thing. They're doing the same exact thing. Taking your livelihood and giving you back nothing. That's what they're doing. Anyway, let's go forward. Uh, Rep here, Rip Walk Daddy. Walk Diddy. Let's see. That whoop serves up a calm and cool red pill dish is good. Yeah, well, I don't need to get out of line. Let's see, Barbara. Uh, Many a black man has spoken true to black women for 40 years. It's a waste of time. I agree with that. I agree with half of that statement. That we have been talking to them for a very long time, but this is something that has never happened. This right here has never happened. Not in the timeline that we have been living in, anyways. I'm sure it's happened in other countries like the bubonic plague, the different plagues, Spanish flu, such etc. But in this timeline, in this era that we're living in, it hasn't happened. So we need to be doing everything that we can to get ourselves together. And I'm not saying ourselves to include women, but I'm saying ourselves as men. This is a time for us to focus. My talk here, like I said, isn't just to men or just to women. It's to the men too. There's something that you're supposed to be doing, because let's look at it this way. If I would put it this way: if this disease, or excuse me, if this virus was disproportionately affecting the black women only, and like 90% of the black men haven't been affected, then I'll be like, oh yeah, this message is for you, not for us. But that's not what the numbers show. Sure, there's a higher proportion of women who are affected, but that's due to uh, the overall volume. There are 2 million more black women than black men. So that's partially due to it, and they're a lot more socially active than we are. But it's affecting black men too. So this message ain't just for them; it's for you too. Wake up. Let's see. Black Dog says it has definitely revealed our place in this world and our health status in general. Very much so. Amanda says, I don't think it's about speaking to women. He's speaking to us. Yes, that's what I just said. Yep. LaShawn says, uh, just finally matter because someone let them speak. After that moment, they still have to live with the rest of the life they were born with. It's shitful uh, for give every day. Let's see. Let's see. Amen is hidden. People can't see God, so they claim He ain't real. Same folks running from coronavirus. Shit is wild out here. It's no game, definitely. What's good, BJ? Let's see. Amen is hidden. If you see it on TV, question whether it's real or not. Lean on, lean on the not. I agree with that. I don't even really watch TV like that. Bronze just said the black community should be using this opportunity as a full stool to gain power with more black businesses. The wheel, the wheels have been already set in motion for our men to gain power and control. Definitely, that's what I'm talking to. That's what I'm talking about. Government is training you. They see everyone wearing masks, staying home, waiting on the government checks because they said obey. I agree. I agree. And what I'm saying to the people, that's the reason why y'all are here. Y'all are here. Y'all are here because y'all help spread the message. Y'all help spread because every person that I talk to here, they y'all have friends, y'all have family members. Y'all may not verbatim repeat what I've said here. Y'all may not even show them the live stream, but this message lives in you, and you're going to carry it on through your actions if you have not considered these things before. That's what I'm here for. I'm here as the counter infection to get us to where we need to go. So anyway, that has been my stream. It's been on here an hour and so minutes. Um, so I'm gonna call it a day. Um, it's good having all you people here. It's good having my brothers and sisters here. It's glad to see you guys in the place. I'm appreciative of the support that you've shown me up to this point and into the future, hopefully. And we'll see you for the next stream. May you have a good day and peace be with you.